Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mark with Spiguyver Backpacking. I'm just headed out into the woods right now. Spring has sprung, as you can see from all of the colors around me, the flowers that are blooming. But I wanted to head out into the woods today, take you guys along, and show you my 2018 lightweight backpacking setup. This is kind of what I'm going to this year. Now you will notice that some of the things are a little bit heavier than what I've done in the past. And there's a good reason for it, and I will take you along and show you. So let's go. Bunch of deer over there. So I'm out here in the woods and I found a nice spot. I've got that big tree right there. I've got this tree right here. It's got a lot of limbs in it, but I think I can get in there and hang a hammock here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what it is I'm gonna be taking with me out on probably 3/4 of my backpacking trips this year. So pretty much the 3-season stuff, this is what's going with me. So pretty much from now until September, October, this is what's going with me, and then it'll have to switch up a little bit as things get colder. But this is what I'll be taking, and this will work most of the time. So this is my go-to hammock for this year. This is my dream hammock, Darien. It's in the 1.2 Robic XL, and it's got the 0.67 mesh bug net, a little bit lighter weight than some of the other stuff that's out there. It's got the 2 pullouts, which I had them add after the first trip I took with this, where the wind was really blowing and it was whipping around. Very comfortable. I like the height that it has inside, and it really opens up and just kind of swallows me up and works really well. I'm head right, foot left, so this is set up just for me. Now the way that I have it suspended in the trees, anybody who's followed my channel for a while knows that I like to use a Beckett hitch, which means no hardware. I have Myers Tech Dyneema straps. They're 1-inch webbing straps with a sewn loop at one end. Run them around the tree, through the loop, down to the continuous loop where I Beckett hitch them on. Works great. So this is my hammock that I will be using this year on most of my lightweight backpacking trips. Let's take a look at how I'm gonna stay warm while I'm in this. To stay warm this year, what I have is underneath, I have a Loco Libre Operator Series 50-degree underquilt. However, I will say that this is a conservative rating, and I have been comfortable in this set down to 40 degrees. Inside, I have the matching Loco Libre gear Ghost Pepper down top quilt. It is the Operator Series, which means it is bare bones, super lightweight. It is a sewn through design, not a baffled design, and works really, really well. It has snap foot box and a drawstring, so I can open it up and just have it just as a complete quilt, just laying on me like a blanket, or I can button up the foot box and get a little bit more warmth there. Because this is a 3/4 length underquilt, I can either shove stuff underneath my feet or use this foot box to help out there. But a lot of times when I'm using this in the summer, I don't even need that. The 3/4 length works awesome. You can vent it a little bit if you need to. You can slide it completely to the side if you really need some airflow. Works really, really well. In addition to that, I have, for a little bit of comfort, my Wilderness Logics lightweight down pillow. And I love that this thing goes really well right behind my neck. Works great. One side is fleece, one side is the ripstop nylon. And that works great because if it's a little bit cooler, I use the fleece side, and if it's a little bit warmer, I'll use the nylon side. Works great. Didn't mention it before, but I have the Ridgeline organizer here in my hammock so that I can put stuff up there and keep everything organized. So now that I've got this, you can see how I'm gonna stay warm in here. Well, how am I gonna stay dry? How am I gonna keep the elements off of me while I'm out? Let's look at that. So up above my hammock setup, to keep me warm, well, not really warm, to keep the wind off and to keep the elements off, the rain out, I have my Hammock Gear Cuben Fiber standard tarp with doors. Now, I have it in a Cuben Fiber snakeskin, And I actually prefer the mesh snakeskin, but because I have this one, I've just kind of left it on here, and that's what I'll continue to do. The Cuben Fiber is actually just a tad, a few grams heavier than the mesh, but I still like it and I'm still using it. So I'm gonna go ahead and deploy the tarp and show you guys what it looks like all set up. Okay, so here is my tarp with the doors closed on this end. And you can see that the only place where there's any opening at all is right up at the top where the suspension goes through. Other than that, it seals it off and it keeps you clear of all the elements. If you walk over to the other side, I have it set up so that you can get in and out, and you can see how it all works. And then you would come across the way that I have it set up top. I have a wasp here, and it is a continuous ridge line that goes around the tree and up above the tarp. And then there are soft shackles with prussics here, easier to see on the other end, that adjust where the tarp sits to center it. Now for attachment points, I have tarp worms with microcord, and the microcord is attached to MSR Groundhogs. Now there are pull-outs. When it's pulled out, it gives you a little bit more room, and I do carry extra stakes. Okay, so what I went ahead and did was I put the net back over the top, over my ridge line. I put the tarp over the ridge line, and so now it's set up so I can just sit here, relax, and talk with you guys from the comfort of the hammock. For those of you who think that you really need something to sit in while you're at camp, this works out great. You can just lounge back, and because of it all being pulled up, man, it becomes like a chair with a chair back right here, and you can just really hang out and chill and discuss whatever you want with your friends that are there, or just hang out. So here's the pack that I will be using this year. This is the Appalachian Ultralight Reach Around pack, and you guys have seen this in another video. I'll put the link to that right up above, and I'll put some of the links down in the descriptions below. All packed out with everything that I'm carrying here. So the hammock, the quilts, the tarp, the suspensions, the stakes, a food bag, water bottles, fuel bottles, but no food, no fuel, no water. All of my extra stuff that I'll be showing you today. The total pack loadout is 8.34 pounds. So still a decently lightweight pack, but it is a little bit heavier than what it has been the past couple of years, and it's because I've opted to go a little bit more for comfort. So take, for example, this hammock. I went with a full, it's zipped on one side, but a full bug net on this one because I really didn't like having my feet come out from underneath my top quilt and get bit up when I was using the Dutch half-wit last year. So I went with this Darien, which zips fully on one side. It's super lightweight and works great. So let's go through what else is in my pack. Now, one of the things that people did get me on last year is when I did it, I did not have a phone with me. So I have my iPhone 8 Plus with its case on it with the tempered glass, and so I have this that'll be going with me on every trip, so I have it in here, and that goes in that zippered pocket outside. So let's set this down and start going through what's in here. Now I showed you guys the stakes that I'm using. Those aren't going to change. All right, for water filtration, I have a 64-ounce Sawyer squeeze bag and the Sawyer Mini. Now for any of my solo trips, this is what I will be using. Now when I go out with my son or out with a group, I may take the Sawyer Squeeze, which is just a little bit heavier, just for the added flow rate and not having to have people have to wait for me when I'm filtering water. When I'm out by myself, I enjoy the break. I enjoy being out, and so I don't mind it so much. I have a 4-ounce fuel bottle, and for what I do, I cook very minimally. 4 ounces of fuel will last me usually about 4 days out on the trail. So for most of my trips, this works great. If I'm going to be going a little longer, I have an 8-ounce one that I can use. New this year, new actually in the last few days, are my new camp shoes. So these are Xero Genesis sandals, and they're super lightweight, super flexible. They're the really lightweight type shoes that you can take out there. And people do a lot of actual hiking, trail running in these, so they are durable enough to stand up to it, and they have a pretty grippy sole, which is better than some of the other stuff I was using. Last year you saw me start using some of those, the Kevlar socks, or the Dyneema socks, and I really didn't like them all that much. Honestly, they didn't feel that good on my feet. It wasn't so much that they weren't standing up to the terrain, because they didn't do too bad, but I like these a whole lot better. For my cook kit, I still have my cozy and my spoon. This is my bamboo spoon. It's a little bit dirty right now. I'll have to clean that up. Good reminder for me. Let's see, anything else down in there? No. So here's my junk bag. This one's kind of the one that has my medical stuff and any stuff to keep me going on the trail. So I keep it in the outer pocket. So it has medicine, some Band-Aids and stuff, wet wipes. It has my friction defense, so same as like Body Glide, toilet paper, a repair kit, has some tenacious tape, some Cuben fiber tape, and some Dyneema hybrid tape, some fire starter, and a spare lighter, spare Bic Mini in there. So all this stuff, people were calling me out last year saying that they didn't see this, they didn't see me putting this in. This was weighed with it. That's part of the 8.34, and this is truly what I would carry while I'm out. So completely an accurate depiction there. Rain jacket. This is my anti-gravity gear rain jacket. It's Silnylon, works really well, has really long pit zips to vent when I'm out there, and it has a nice generous hood that comes all the way up over the front, and has done really well on the trips that I've needed it. I have a water bottle that's attached to my strap, and this is the same as like a smart water bottle. I like to use the sport cap ones because I can use them for multiple things, like back flushing a Sawyer Mini. I went with the padded side belts, the padded hip belts this year, and I really like that. This one does have a pocket there, and inside of this pocket I keep a knife, and this knife has a little belt clip so it can go in my pocket if I want it, so that if I need it for anything throughout the day, it can just clip into my pocket and be real easy to get out. And it's just a little buck knife, works really well. And then my new favorite headlamp, this is the Petzl Actik Core, very bright, 350 lumens, works really well, lasts a long time, and just one of the best ones out on the market right now. Cook kit. To continue with my cook kit, it's in here. It's a little tight in here, but let me get this out. Here's my cook kit. Toaks 550 lightweight titanium. I have a Bic Mini, or Mini Bic. I have my Spiguyver stove and my titanium windscreen. All fits in here really well and is super light. And I just did a video on this kit just a couple of weeks ago, and I'll put that up above as well, and it'll be down below so you guys can check that out as well. Inside the pack, what do I still have left in here? Okay, food bag. So this is a big Cuben fiber food bag with a roll top, and it has my bear bag stuff. So it has the line that I use to hang my bear bag. The next piece is kind of one, this is something that some people may disagree with, may think this is unnecessary, and it does add probably close to a pound, if not more, to my kit, but this is my extra clothes. So it's in a very lightweight 15-liter large Sea to Summit mesh bag, but then I have thermal underwear, which I like to sleep in most nights unless it's really, really hot out. I have a buff, which can be used for a lot of different things while you're out there. So buff, spare pair of underwear, a spare pair of socks, pair of gloves, and a fleece balaclava. So those are the things that I will be carrying with me on pretty much all my trips this year. Total weight, like I said, 8.34 pounds. Nice lightweight start. Once I get food, water, and fuel in there, you know, I'm set to hit the trail at about 15 pounds, if not less than that. So I'm still doing really well when I get out there. Plus I'm comfortable. Some of the changes from last year, like I mentioned, the full zip bug net. I also like that I went with some padded waist belt on my backpack, and I went with a little bit heavier material on the backpack. I went with the Dyneema hybrid instead of just the straight Dyneema, which does add a little bit, but I like it. Also, the camp shoes that I'm using are a little bit heavier than what I was using last year, but they're more comfortable, they're more durable, and they have better grip. So I'm not as worried about slipping or falling while I'm sitting at camp. So guys, this is my kit. This is what I will be using this year. I like it. It works really well. If you guys have any questions, look down below. I'll have a list of all of this gear and some links to the websites where you can pick it up for yourself if you're interested. And as always, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Like this video, share it, comment down below, and I'll see you guys down the trail. Thanks.